your experiences and your concerns. Our community deserves to be heard, and that's why we're all here tonight. For those of you who I haven't met, I'm Congresswoman Lauren Underwood. I have the honor of representing Illinois' 14th Congressional District in Congress, and I want to go over a few housekeeping themes before we begin. First, like all community events, we kindly ask you to help us make sure that everyone can be heard and that this is a respectful and productive conversation. We have guidelines posted around the room if you have any questions. We are also streaming tonight's event live on our YouTube page, and we have a few friends from the media who are in attendance as well. This evening will be split into two parts. There's going to be an open session where you may share your testimony with me and everyone in the room and anyone who's watching at home or reads the articles or video footage that our friends, our journalist friends, decide to publish. Okay, the second half of our event tonight will be a closed session. At that point, we would stop the live stream and ask the press to leave the room so that you may share your testimony privately with me and everyone gathered here to help inform our oversight work in Congress. Okay, so we're asking everyone to keep their comments to 3 minutes so that everyone can be heard. If you have more to add after your 3 minutes expire, or if you weren't able to be here physically tonight for our friends watching the live stream, we also have an opportunity for you to submit your experiences online through written testimony. We will stay and listen to everyone who requested their time to share their testimony when they RSVP'd. Okay, so even if we hit 7 o'clock, and we still have a ways to go, we're going to listen to everyone who signed up. But please note that I'm not going to be responding directly to every speaker, sort of like we do at town hall meetings. Today's listening session is designed to be a forum for Illinois 14 residents to share their perspectives. So after my brief opening remarks, I'll then just be taking extensive notes. So with that stated, let's get started. In Washington, D.C., I serve as the ranking member on the Homeland Security Appropriations Subcommittee. What that means is that I am the top Democrat in charge of managing the department's funding on behalf of the House of Representatives. One essential part of that role is conducting oversight of how the Department of Homeland Security is using its budget, how they are spending the money, and investigating when its actions are not transparent, when they're not lawful, or when they're not in the public interest. That oversight power is given to Congress, and only Congress, because we represent the people in the United States Constitution. Now, it's also my job as your representative in Congress to make sure that your views and concerns are heard by federal agencies. And especially, it's my job to do everything in my power to ensure that your constitutional rights are respected and that our communities are safe. As an appropriator, as your congresswoman, as your neighbor, I am horrified by the recent conduct of federal law enforcement agents throughout our communities. Their conduct is making our community less safe. Just yesterday in Aurora, a constituent of mine was violently pepper sprayed without any apparent justification. Our communities are being terrorized, brutalized, and illegally occupied by a president who wants to be a king, who's claiming in court that his actions are justified because, quote, Illinois is in rebellion, end quote. Well, yesterday, a federal judge blocked his attempts to deploy the National Guards on our streets. But this administration, it seems, will stop at nothing to trample on the rule of law, because this isn't about safety, and it's definitely not about immigration enforcement. We know that because these actions are taking place without adequate coordination or communication with local law enforcement or elected officials, leaving all of us in the dark about what's happening and why, and it's putting innocent lives at risk. These developments have understandably left many residents, regardless of citizenship status, anxious and afraid. For families who have lived here for generations, it feels like the character of their neighborhoods is changing overnight. Many of us feel a growing sense that our neighborhoods are being monitored more closely than ever before. For small business owners, it raises questions about whether their workers and customers will feel safe coming in. For parents, it creates fear about what their children might see or experience on their way to school, at home, or with their friends. As your representative, I take these concerns very seriously. The Department of Homeland Security is tasked with protecting the American people, but that mission must always be carried out responsibly, with the utmost respect for civil rights and the rule of law. Now, we're 10 months into this administration, and we are all less safe than we were before. The actions of this administration have pushed us to an unprecedented and a sobering moment. In a democracy, our government is supposed to serve the people, not rule over them. As we work to keep our country safe, we must never forget that protecting the homeland also means protecting our freedoms. We have already seen troubling signs of what happens when that balance is lost. Federal agencies have sent emails to U.S. citizens instructing them to, quote, leave the United States immediately. They have engaged in actions that violate the Fifth Amendment right to due process enshrined in the Constitution. They have used excessive force and unnecessary stunts to harass and intimidate people in our communities, including people peacefully exercising their First Amendment rights to speech and assembly. Trampling on our rights does not make us safer. It makes us less free. You deserve to feel safe where you live. You have the right to ask questions when you see increased law enforcement or military presence. And you have every right to expect that your government will act in your best interests. If you or someone that you know needs help, for example, if a loved one is in ICE custody or facing a problem with a federal agency, my team is here to assist you. We work every day to help families navigate complex federal systems, and we will do everything that we can to make sure that you are supported and informed. And as I said, tonight I'm here to listen. I want to hear directly from you about what you're seeing, how it's affecting your sense of safety and belonging, and what you think needs to change. Your testimonies and your stories help guide my work in Washington as I continue to press the Trump administration for answers. And I will continue to ensure that your truth is not erased as the Trump administration seeks to erase what so many other ugly truths about our nation's history. I can't promise that I'll have every answer, but I can promise that your voices will not be ignored. I will continue to push for oversight, accountability, and transparency because you and your neighbors deserve nothing less. So when you all RSVP'd for the event tonight, you had the opportunity to share your own photos and videos. I know a lot of you have footage from violent ICE encounters like excessive force or even property damage in pursuit of folks in our communities. Now we're gonna send out that link again after tonight's event. We wanna hold ICE accountable, so thank you in advance for sharing your evidence with us. Again, thanks for being here and for engaging in this conversation with honesty and courage. I look forward to hearing from you. And now I'll turn it over to Carolyn on my team to begin the testimony.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to go ahead and move into our open session. I'm going to call the names of folks who have signed up one by one. When we call your name, please come up to either podium. The microphone will be on, and the timer will let you know how much time you have. And with that, I'd like to welcome our first speaker, Luz Aranda.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Luz Aranda, and I am proud to stand before you today as a community organizer for the Spanish Community Center in Joliet, but even more personally, as a proud resident of Romeoville, a proud Mexican, a woman, a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and a tia. I stand here not just as a professional, but as someone who has been directly impacted by the undeserved pain and violence that continues to devastate our communities. I stand here with a heart full of love for my people and a spirit fueled by resilience and purpose. All my life, I've been loud and proud of who I am and where I come from. I celebrate my roots, my culture, and my collective strength. I honor our resilience, our relentless work ethic, and the hope that drives us to build a better life for ourselves and for the generations to come. That is why most of us are here, not to harm, not to take, but to contribute, to thrive, to dream. And yet, those very people are the ones under attack today. Not the criminals, not the dangerous, but hardworking, honest, and hopeful human beings, our neighbors, our family members, our friends. Just yesterday, I spoke with a heartbroken woman whose daughter was unjustly ripped from her life on her way to work, simply trying to provide for her family, including her 2-year-old daughter. Now that grandmother is left to explain the unexplainable, why her granddaughter's mother isn't home. That is the depth of the tragedy we're facing. This young woman who had no criminal record, no wrongdoing. So why is her family being torn apart? Why? And she's not alone. There are countless of others who now live in fear, afraid to go grocery shopping, to attend church, to drop off their kids at school, to simply exist in the open. For what? For being who they are? For the color of their skin? For daring to hope? This is not the America my father brought me to. And yet, here we are, still standing, more united than ever. We are using this injustice as fuel to become stronger, to stand taller, and to show the world that when we are tested, we rise together. Let's be honest, they fear us because they've seen our strength. They've watched us come here with nothing and build businesses, careers, homes, and dreams, even with every obstacle thrown our way. Our success challenges their narrative, and that's what scares them. But we are not the enemy. We are the very fabric of what makes this country stronger, more vibrant, and more just. We are the American dream in motion. I have always used my voice to speak for those who feel unheard, and today is not the exception. Mi madre me hizo una mujer fuerte y con propósito. My mother raised me to be a strong woman with purpose, and that is exactly who I am. I will continue to advocate, to organize, to speak, and most importantly, to stand with my people. And today, Congresswoman Underwood, and to everyone here, I ask you not to give up on us. Don't look away, don't grow weary, because we are worth fighting for. Together, we rise. Thank you.
Thank you, Luz.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Hazel Besterfeld.
Hi, I'm a transgender American, and I've been paying attention to politics for quite a while. And I can't say that it's ever been true that I haven't been free to speak in a venue like this. Today, I don't feel free with the Department of Justice threatening to come after people like me for speaking my truth or our truths. They are promising to investigate me just for speaking things that they may feel like taking into a violent context. So I feel very threatened standing up here, and I don't think I'll ever feel safe to speak in public ever again because of this political reality that the Democrats feel, I'm speaking about moderate Democrats feel obligated as a precondition for participating in the party is to bargain with Project 2025, which I would like to say, in my opinion, is a white supremacist policy paper. So if moderate Democrats can't participate in the halls of Congress without publicly agreeing to eventually cut a deal with the Republicans, right? Some portion of Project 2025 will always make it through the legislative process. And I know everybody wants to blame Trump, but this situation is John Roberts' court's fault. They are the ones that have changed the political reality wherein we can't vote for a budget outside of a continuing resolution without moderate Democrats inserting Project 2025 into the legislative record, only for John Roberts' court to affirm it. And we all know that the John Roberts court will affirm anything that's Project 2025 that comes across their court. And that will not happen for Democrat policy, or I'm sorry, Democrat legislation. they will not defer to the Democrats the way that they are deferring to the Republicans right now. So in my opinion, your only option as a legislator and a Democrat is to continue operating on the continuing resolution indefinitely. If you fund this, if anybody funds Project 2025, you will be primaried. Not you, but your colleagues. Do not vote for Project 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Hazel.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Edith Calderon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Edith Calderon. I am a daughter of Mexican parents and the oldest of 3 children. I am also a mom of a 3-year-old boy. Although I am many things, I am also a member and one of the co-leads of the Aurora Rapid Response Team. The Aurora Rapid Response Team was created in 2018 in order to educate, advocate, and investigate on behalf of our immigrant and refugee community members in Aurora and the surrounding areas, including Montgomery, Naperville, and Batavia, to name a few. The way that the Aurora Rapid Response Team educates our community is by teaching them about the rights that our community has, preparedness, and how our community can protect themselves in the event where immigration authorities threaten their well-being. The Aurora Rapid Response Team also educates ourselves, and we also work with other rapid response teams in order for us to stay up to date on immigration issues and best practices. The way that the Aurora Rapid Response Team advocates for our immigrant and refugee community members is by providing opportunities for education, sharing information about legislation and current events, and supporting families in the event that immigration authorities threaten their well-being. Lastly, the way that the Aurora Rapid Response Team investigates on behalf of our immigrant and refugee community members so they can take the necessary steps to protect themselves and their families. On October 9th, 2025, the Aurora Rapid Response Team was able to confirm 6 ICE sightings that occurred in Aurora. The Aurora Rapid Response Team's members were on the ground since the first report came in. While the Aurora Rapid Response Team was on the ground investigating, one of our team members ended up being barricaded by ICE agents to the point where ICE agents harassed her, took pictures of her, took pictures of her car, took pictures of her driver's license, and told her to tell our team members to stop following because it wasn't going to end well. This also occurred while an ICE agent pointed a rifle at her. We also had a team member harassed, taken the pictures by ICE agents, and also almost being pepper sprayed by ICE agents, although the ICE agent failed to do so. This is not the first time that our rapid response team members have been attacked, harassed, threatened, and so on. And, yesterday was very crazy for the whole community, in which we want to thank the whole community for coming out there, because if it wasn't for them, it wouldn't have ended well for any of our team members and also other community members. So thank you for coming out and for helping us.
Thank you, Edith. For those who are standing in the back, there's some seats in the front row if you would like to sit. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Zaira Chavez.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Zaira Chavez. I am a resident of the city of Aurora. I am a mother and the current chair for the Aurora Hispanic Heritage Advisory Board for the city of Aurora. I want to start off with letting you all know that the current political climate that has been created instills a deep sense of fear in our community. Every day we see families, hardworking, everyday people who are afraid to leave their homes for food, for medical care, to pick up their children from school. They're afraid to run their errands. They live in fear. They might not make it back home to their families. I want to let everyone know that we are not outsiders. We are your neighbors, your coworkers, your friends. We are community members and taxpayers who simply want the opportunity to continue to contribute and to live, work, and raise our children in peace. This fear is taking a heavy toll, especially on our children. I've helped countless parents prepare guardianship and power of attorney documents just in case they're picked up by ICE. No child should have to live with that kind of worry. Research shows that children who lose one or both parents are at a higher risk for incarceration, drug use, trauma, and homelessness. Our kids are scared, and they are looking to you, to all of you, to all of us, to make a real change, to make the change, to do what's right. So I ask of you this: when will enough finally be enough? And what will you all do to stand up and protect the immigrant community and the immigrant families who are targeted and are the very heart of this community?
Thank you, Zaira.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Gwen Ciesla.
Hi, longtime Aurora resident, usually involved in other causes, typically LGBT rights, things like that. I've felt the need to get more involved with this issue as things have escalated. I was going to bring up Aurora Rapid Response Team, but that has been much more eloquently pointed out by Edith. I urge everyone with any free time at all to get involved. They're doing great work. And if this isn't something that seems like an important issue to you, the aforementioned Project 2025, they've told us their game plan. Nobody's safe. They're coming for everyone else. So we need to hold the line where it is and push back. And I think it's on every single one of us to contribute in whatever way we can. Only we keep us safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Gwen.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Michael Farnan.
I've been listening to your stories, and they're heart-wrenching. My concern is how to stop this monster. I'm an election judge. My concern is that all of this intimidation is designed to steal the election and stay in power. So how do we stop him? His intimidation, that's what he's doing. He's trying to intimidate all of us at whatever level we are. We're taught as election judges that only judges and registered voters can be in a precinct. That's it. So my concern is if they show up at my door, how do I stop them? How do I prevent them from intimidating people, not just in the precinct, not just in the polling place, but outside? How do we stop that? There has to be a way. There has to be something in the law that allows us to do that. You're on the committee that funds them. Ideally, I'd like you to say, tomorrow I'm going to defund ICE. I'm going to defund DHS. You probably can't do that. But I'd like to know what can be done so that we can not hear any more of these stories tonight or any other night for that matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Diana Torres-Hawken.
Thank you. Thank you, Congresswoman Underwood, for convening this forum and for your leadership in defending civil rights and oversight of immigration enforcement practices. My name is Diana Torres-Hawken, and I'm the Vice President and founder of ALMAS, Alliance of Latinos Motivating Action in the Suburbs, Naperville's first Latino-led and Latino-serving nonprofit organization. I'm joined today by Marisa Martinez, mentor to our Youth Advisory Council. ALMAS is committed to uplifting and serving our city and neighboring suburbs. ALMAS celebrates culture, fosters community, and empowers families through our core values of cultural pride, inclusivity, leadership empowerment, and civic engagement. As a 501c3 organization, we remain nonpartisan. Our advocacy is focused on uplifting the Latino community through education, representation, and civic engagement. For many Latino families, politics is not abstract, it is lived. When individuals experience discrimination, detainment, or deportation fears because of how they look, sound, or where they live and work, these realities cannot be separated from their culture or daily life. The trauma of these experiences affects our children, our workplaces, and our collective sense of safety and belonging. We appreciate your continued commitment to oversight, accountability, and the protection of civil and human rights, particularly as they relate to immigration enforcement and the treatment of families in our communities. At the same time, collaboration among local governments and community organizations is essential to reduce silos, prevent duplication of efforts, and ensure families can access the right resources without fear. We admire the community members who have been raising their voices and taking action, but they cannot do it alone. They need support, and we all need to work together. When leadership and organizations work together with transparency and shared purpose, our communities thrive. ALMA stands in solidarity with all immigrant families and remains committed to turning that solidarity into action, connecting families to accurate information, amplifying youth and immigrant voices, and ensuring that the lived realities of our community inform policy making at every level. Thank you again, Congresswoman Underwood, for your partnership and for centering community voices in this very important conversation.
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Charlie Kaus.
Hello, Congresswoman. I'm really discouraged right now with what's going on. I feel really helpless that I can't do anything. And I know you're not answering questions, but I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what I can do. I mean, they're coming after my Medicaid and all of that, which I'd give that up in a second if I could help somebody. I just feel like he's not going to leave after the 2028 election if he doesn't cancel it. I just really feel helpless. I'm not good at public speaking, but I just wish there was something somebody can do, because these guys are acting with impunity, and it seems like if there's a court order, he just violates it. It's not a genocide, but there's so many people, they haven't done anything wrong, and they're picking up children off the street. How are anybody supposed to look at themselves in the mirror knowing this is going on? I don't know anything else to say. This is hurting me really badly, that people are being mistreated like this.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Robert Putrich.
Good evening. I can really sympathize with the young lady that was at this mic earlier. Because let's face it, everyone in this room, unless you're a full-blooded Native American, we're all immigrants. everyone. That said, it seems to me that ICE is in extreme violation of both the Fourth and Fifth Amendments. And what really strikes me about the Fourth Amendment is what it says. Bear with me. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the person or things to be seized. Notice that it says all persons. It does not say you have to be a citizen of the United States. All persons. One last thing. I'm an old geezer, as you might have noticed, and I greatly remember what happened in August of 1974. A group of Republican senators, I might add, small group, led by Barry Goldwater, went to see then President Nixon. Story has it that after that conversation, he resigned the next day. I would call on Senator John Thune to somehow find that same intestinal fortitude and end the lawlessness. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you. Next, we're going to welcome Karina Garcia.
Good afternoon, dear Congresswoman. My name is Karina Garcia. I'm the president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and I'm here to serve you. But I'm here today on behalf of our local businesses and community members who are deeply hurting at all levels. What we are witnessing in our neighborhood is heartbreaking. Families living in fear, hardworking people being targeted, and a sense of uncertainty spreading among all of us have always continued possibly to this country. I recently heard one gentleman ask today, what is it that we can do to stop him? A question that reflects the fear and frustration of many of us are feeling right now. We need leadership, we need actions to protect our community, to ensure that no one is targeted because of the color of our skin, our background. My parents brought me to this country when I was just 9 years old with the American dream. And that dream has become a nightmare now. A dream built on hard work, dignity, and hope. My father, who passed away 6 years ago, and my mother, both my mom and my dad worked tirelessly. Both had 2 jobs. They both paid taxes to this country. Now my mom is scared, and my mom is booking her ticket to go back to Mexico because she's scared. My whole family is scared. The businesses are scared because they're scared that they're going to go in their doors and taking their staff just because of their color. Today, however, it feels as stuffed as the same dream. I simply a way for so many in our community. We are asking for your help to stand with us, to be our voice, and to ensure that our rights and our safeties are protected. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Karina.
Thank you so much. With that, we've come to the end of our speakers for the open session. Is there anybody we've missed or who'd like to speak before we move to our closed session? All right, hearing none, we're going to move to our closed session. As a reminder, the live stream will be turned off, and we're going to politely ask our friends in the press to step outside.